both those of you who are here and for those of you who are joining us via our live stream. I do have some announcements that I'd like to share with you. There's nothing new for events for the church, but for missions and outreach related to Julie's heart. I don't know that there's any new information about Bill and Jen with Papua New Guinea. But we are currently doing our baby bottle drive, and that continues. And if you don't have a baby bottle and you would like a baby bottle, please see Julie, and she will get you one. As it relates to David's heart, I do have an update there. You will see this is the first picture there is Shamela in her Mahandi dress, and then obviously the second one is her wedding dress, and that is her with her new husband. His name is Soyiye. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It looks in our language like Sohail, but it's pronounced Soyiye. And right off the bat, I got about 20 pictures this morning. This was their Valentine's Day celebration. And you'll see right there, Pastor Mark, in that first picture, Great Minds Think Alike. They handed out roses to the children and also fed them. So that's what's going on in Pakistan. And that is the new village where she is living. The village isn't new. It's her new home. And that's 104L there. And then for Barb's heart, the only information that I have is from Ginger, and they have a new blog spot that they've started, and we will have a link to that blog spot on our website. And then I just put the picture in of, and I can't remember their names already, but that's the couple that they're building the home for. And then lastly, the McKeevers and Wycliffe Bible translators, they continue to grow. They're up to 66 recruits. They're asking for prayer for a woman named Laura who is needing to make a decision. And then Daniel and his wife need prayer so that they can get their visa situation taken care of. And Kathy continues to suffer from pain with the osteoarthritis, and they're looking for continued prayers for her. And that's all of the updates that I have for today. So with that, if you will please stand and join us, we would love to have you praise and worship with us this morning. And it's all about love on this Valentine's Day. Yeah. Yeah. of your love. Yeah. As we come into your presence, we remember every blessing that you poured out so freely from above. We're lifting gratitude and praises for compassion so amazing. Lord, we come to give you thanks for all you've done. Because of your love, we're forgiven. Because of your love, our hearts are clean. We lift you up with songs of freedom. Forever you're changed because of your love. Yeah. They'll know we are Christians by our love. We are one in the Spirit. We are one in the Lord. We are one in the Spirit. We are one in the Lord. And we pray that our unity may one day be restored. And they'll know we are Christians by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love. We will walk with each other. We will walk hand in hand. We will walk with each other. We will
your face with all of my heart, and I will seek your face with all of my mind, and I will seek your face with all of my strength, for you are my Lord, for you are my Lord. For you
At this time, we'll have the reading of God's Word found in Matthew 23, 37 through 39. We can stand for the reading of God's Word.
O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets and stonest them which are sent unto thee, how often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, and ye would not. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. For I say unto you, ye shall not see me henceforth, till ye shall say, Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. I'm going to be referring to those verses again in a moment. But while we're finding our locations, I want to remind you we have roses for all the girls and ladies here today. Both exits, you'll be given one. And I want to just thank you for being here and for all of us getting to celebrate Valentine's Day. We know love because God first loved us. And anytime we sense love, we're sensing God. And so I'm going to look at Valentine's Day and talk about Jesus and His Valentine, as well as a love that protects, a love that protects. And we see that in what was just read in Matthew 23, where Jesus would protect and love like a hen protects and loves the little chicks. So on Valentine's Day, we celebrate not only couples, but we celebrate friendship, love, and togetherness. And the idea of celebrating is a knowledge of a significant day or event with a social gathering and enjoyable activities. And in this understanding of celebrating friendship, love, and togetherness, I'm going to refer to John chapter 15:15. We're talking about friends, Jesus and friends, God and us as His friends. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord does, but I have called you friends. For all things that I have heard of my Father I have made known unto you. And so here's Jesus showing the love of God, saying, look, I don't call you servants. I didn't make you so you'd be little robots. I'm calling you friends because I love you. The Father loves you. He sent me. Jesus agreed to go and minister His love, sacrifice His life. Then we look about that love in John 15:12. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Now, just as Jesus came to show us love, His love, then we're to take that love and share that with others. Then we see the idea of togetherness in John 15, verse 17. These things I command you, that you love one another. And so here's God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit showing the love of God who created us to us so that we understand that, and then we pass that love on to others. So together, here we are in the house of God with God's people and God's love. And that's how we ought to look at coming into the house of God. We should come into the house of God knowing we're going to be accepted by God and by each other because of this divine love and this drive, this calling, this beckoning, this force that gives us an understanding of God's love. And I was reading about the book of Bishop Carey, and the chapter I was on, he was talking about, and if you have that book, if you don't have that book, you need to purchase it. Each chapter is amazing. You can meditate on each chapter. As a matter of fact, I ordered his newest book, Crazy Christians, so you'll be hearing that shortly. But the idea, he's always talking about love. It doesn't matter what situation he's in. He looks and sees that love is activated, and love creates, and love can be seen in every situation. And so he's constantly challenged and asked, well, if we just love everybody, doesn't that make us doormats? Well, see, that's a misunderstanding of love. This is not an ooey-gooey, touchy-feeling, everything's okay type love. This is a God love, a holy love, a love of perfection. And today I want to talk about the power that's in that love. And so God's love does not make us a doormat. God's love is a protection for us. And we need to understand that word this morning. Now I'm going to turn back to Matthew 23 that Mark just read. In Matthew 23, verses 37 and 39. I want you to visualize Jesus. Okay, so you be Jesus, all right, and you're on Mount of Olives, which is up, if you follow the road around, it's a mile. Otherwise, it's about a quarter of a mile. And it's elevated. You see this often, a picture from the Mount of Olives looking down at Jerusalem. If you've ever seen that picture and you have the span of Jerusalem and the old wall and the road going into the gate and the gate over here, the east gate with a cemetery in front of it. The Muslims put the cemetery there because that's dead people, and the Jews are not allowed by their faith to touch dead men's bones. But the prophecy is that the Messiah will come from the east and will go down and split that gate open, and he'll walk in. I get a kick out of that. So little mankind says, oh, we know how to block the Messiah. We know how to block God when he returns. We're going to put up dead men. Just the whole idea is humorous. But if you've seen that picture, they're on the Mount of Olives looking down at Jerusalem taking the picture. And that's where Jesus was praying the night he was taken. And at this time, he's on the Mount of Olives looking, and he's wept. He said, oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. Okay, verse 37. Thou that kills the prophets and stones them who I sent to you, and often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chicks under her wings, and you would not. So you're looking, okay, you're Jesus up on Mount of Olives, and you're looking at Jerusalem, and you're the Son of God. You're the Messiah. You're the one who puts mankind and God back together. What do you have to offer? And why are you there? Why is Jesus up there on Mount Olives praying, looking down at Jerusalem, saying, oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, would I have gathered you all together as a hen gathers her chicks to protect you, to give you life and understanding, to let you know what God is all about. That's what he's thinking. That's what he said, oh, Jerusalem, I would gather together, but you would not have it. Now, with that understanding, how often, Christ is saying, would I have gathered thy children together, children together, even as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, and you would not have it. See, they did not want to receive his love. Jealousy and hatred and political strife and on, all that was going on. But here's the Son of God willing to give himself, and he knows he's going to, willing to give himself because he loved them. And a word came to me as I was thinking about that. You cannot change culture. So understand that. Don't be frustrated. You cannot change culture. Jesus did not change Jerusalem. Jesus did not change Israel. Christians did not change the world. You are not going to change Geneva. You know, we hear people that don't understand, and I had one minister years ago tell me in Geneva that he got called to Geneva because he's going to save everyone from the greatest to the least. He was quoting out of Scripture, and he says, and everyone in Geneva will be saved. And I said, I said, it's not going to happen. Oh, no, that's what God, and that's a fallacy, people. Jesus didn't change the culture, otherwise they'd all been saved. But he calls them, for those that will receive him, he changes them. And so we will not change our culture, but we will work within the confines of that, share Jesus Christ, and for those that receive him, their lives are definitely changed. So, when we work within those limits, we see the message of Jesus. Don't listen. For those that don't listen and did not obey, he says, you and your house will be desolate. Let's look at 38. Because your house is left unto you desolate. Why? Because you would not listen. Jesus said, I came to you, I would collect you as a hen collects her chicks, but you would not listen, so you are going to be left desolate and your house. People, your salvation can often determine the direction of your household. When you stand for Jesus Christ with the love of God, the protective love of God, your household sees that. Households are constantly, continually blessed because of one person. You know, you've heard the saying, if your grandmother's praying for you, you might as well just give up because God's going to answer her prayers. Well, how many times for a mother? How many times for a wife? How many times for when one person gives their life to Christ and accepts that love of God, that love is empowered. That love is a protection. That love just supernaturally protects that family in a way that keeps evil out and righteousness in. Now, they might have to deal with morning's message. People, you ought to be here for Sunday school. A powerful message. Little by little, God will work in that person's life. Little by little, God will work in that family's life. Little by little, God will say, I bless you, I'll bless you. No, little by little, I take that out of your life and that out of your life, but I give you that and I give you that. See, we have this understanding, at least I do, this understanding of the greatness of God. In a way, I'm always expecting, bam, more of God. Give an example. I had to chuckle at myself while we were singing. How do you like these roses and a little baby's breath? You know, you like those? That's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. And as I looked at them, and I saw them in Wegmans, the display is like, whoa! And I thought, that's what I need. I need all that. And then I thought, Mark Reese not going to like that, being the treasurer. But anyway, when I saw them, it's like, I want this whole display because it was just wide enough to cover over there. I'll have to get some things over here and some over. I mean, it's really went through my head. And just build them up. And it all point to Jesus. And I want to buy them all. I just think that way when I think about God. Do it all. Little by little, okay, buy these little flowers and buy these little flowers. You know, maybe next year we can have some bigger ones. Maybe we'll be loving some more next year. You see, that I just look at God things that way because I look at God that way. And so we realize when the message is, I would gather you under my wings, but you would not have any of that. And so for families that say no, a leader in a family that says no, a child in a family that says no, then they're bringing desolation into their family. They're allowing the doors and the windows open and anything to blow in that happens to be there. So behold, your house is left desolate unto you. For I say unto you, you shall not see me henceforth till you say, blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. People, you can be one person in your family. You can be one family in your extended house family. One person, one household can bring salvation to others in your house. And so if you don't listen and don't obey, your house will be desolate. Desolate of what? Joy, of happiness, of peace, of togetherness. But if you listen and obey and hear the scriptures, you and your house will be blessed with all the blessings that heaven has to offer. You say, well, I haven't seen that. Well, what blessings have you seen? Again, this morning's message. A little blessing here, a little blessing there, a little blessing here. And all of a sudden you look back and say, God's really blessed me and my family. God's really blessed us over the years. You can look back and see the hand of God in so many things. Why? Because you accepted the love of Jesus Christ. Because you put faith in God, and now you're seeing the results. But we need to realize that being desolate or being blessed is it's conditional. It's conditional. You choose God and you choose His way always in every situation in your life. Now also in Matthew 23 he says, how often I would gather, even as a hen gathers chicks under her wings, but you would have not. This is a love that protects. If you've ever been on a farm and collected eggs, how many of you have ever collected eggs while a hen sits on the nest? How many of you got pecked? Yeah, every one of you that have collected eggs under a hen, you've been pecked. As soon as you reach it, that hen knows you're reaching for those eggs. That hen knows those are my eggs and you're not getting them. And that hen will fight and will peck you. And so that's a motherly instinct. That's a parental love. See, that's a covering, and catch this, that is a protection. Just as a hen would collect her chicks and protect them, the love of God is a protection. Now, I saw this online, and you can Google it. Google hen protecting her eggs from a tractor. The first one I'm going to give, and I've seen both these online, is a hen and her chicks trapped in a corner with a yellow viper slithering toward them. And when you look that up, you Google that, it's just a little hallway with a dead end and bricks all the way around, and here's a hen with a dozen chicks at the end, and you see this yellow viper come. This snake sees those little, and you see that hen, feathers go out, and 4 or 5 times, I mean, it's a real fight, that hen takes on that yellow viper and will fly up and peck the viper and fly, and the viper's striking, and she's screaming all this time, and little chicks running everywhere, and if the viper looks at a little chick, she runs over there, and that mother hen's going to give her life to protect those little chicks. You got to look it up. Finally, the viper's back in the corner where they all are, and all the little chicks run out, and the mother jumps up and hits them a couple times, and she looks back to her left. She runs back, hits the viper a couple more times, one more chick, and they're all gone. And then you got to look little tiny chick in the corner. He just ain't quibbing away, and the viper, and here comes that hen again, jumps on the top of that viper's head, pecks it, and that little chick finally catches it, and they all leave. And I thought, my goodness, that is love. As a hen gathers and protects her brood. That is love. Love that protects. Now also you can Google a mother bird protecting her eggs against a tractor. Google that this afternoon. A mother bird protecting her eggs against a tractor. And what you have is this bird built a nest on the ground. She has the eggs in it, and here comes a tractor and a cultivator behind it, and you see her rise up with her wings, and she's going to take that tractor on. And thank goodness the farmer sees it, and so he goes over it, he steers, and you see the camera as the tractor goes over her, and she's looking like she's getting ready to take that tractor on, and it passes by, and then here comes the cultivator with the big blades on it, cutting up the ground, and it gets right to it, and now she's full. It's like, my eggs, I got you. And I mean, that could have ground her into, and instead the farmer raises it and just goes over her head, and she's watching, and right at the end, you got to watch this, right at the end she goes, ha! She, I'll teach you, and then finally it leaves, and she puts her wings back down. And I thought, that's love. Love that protects her brood. And that's what Jesus was saying over Jerusalem. I love you. You're my brood. You're my children. I'm the Son of God. And so we know in John 15, greater love hath no man than this, than he lays down his life for his friends. It's even in animal instinct, God has placed his love, which is a protection for the offspring. So now, on Valentine's Day, Jesus' Valentine was Jerusalem then, and today, the Valentine for Jesus is his church. He loves his church. Jesus looked over Jerusalem and offered his love. He wanted to be able to, and he was saying, look, I have all the answers. All you have to do is accept me. Jesus looks over the church, the body of believers today, and what kind of love is that? I want you to stop and think about the love of that bird, of that chicken, the love that Jesus had for Jerusalem, the love that God has for you and the church today, for you and your family today. It's a love that is faithful. It's a love that is honest. It's a love that has integrity. It's a love that communicates. I have a book called Communication, The Love to Marriage. And if people would communicate, forgive, and accept, there'd almost be no problems in the world, certainly not in families, if it's all done in the love of God. And so here's Jesus wanting to communicate, and he did. He preached and he taught, and he wanted the church, Jerusalem, to accept him. So communication. God was saying, listen to me. Do it my way. Why? Because I'm your covering. I'm your protection. I mean, just stop and think. If the culture had laid down all their politics, laid down all their religiosity, and accepted the Messiah, Jerusalem would never have had a war after that, if they had just accepted God. But when we don't accept God, we should expect war in our emotional life, in our spiritual life, in our relationships. When we're trying to do it our way, we don't need you, Jesus. Stay up there on Mount Olive. By the way, we'll throw up a prayer now and then to you. But meanwhile, I'm going to do it and that's desolation. And we need to realize that God's love protects. God, you realize Jesus could have called down a legion of angels at that time? Jesus could have said, oh, you're not going to love me? All of you that accept me, come over here and watch this. Whoo, and just Jerusalem could have disappeared. He was the Son of God, but he laid down his life instead. See, it's a love that establishes his kingdom within us. It's a pure love. It's a single-mindedness love. It's a love of righteousness, of peace, of joy. It's a love of protection. And so when you think about the love of God in your life this morning and in your family's life, think about it when you walk out this week and all week long. Think about the love of God that protects. And what does he protect you from? And what are the possibilities out there? And how much faith do you put in that love of protection? How much thankfulness do you put in that love of protection? How much do you understand, wait a minute, God's protecting me with his love. God's protecting my family with his love. God's protecting this church with his love. God loves us, and God gives us life and life abundantly. So today, when we're celebrating Valentine's Day, we're celebrating friendship, we're celebrating love, and we're celebrating togetherness. Celebrate, again, knowledge of a significant happy day. Why? Because we're together having a social event, an enjoyable activity in the house of God. We're friends in the house of God. We have the love in the house of God. We're together in the house of God. So together, in God's house, God's people, God's love. It's divine love, both for now in your life and your family's life, in this church life, and for all of eternity. Why? Love, 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 because God is love. This time we'll stand for prayer, and I'd also ask two people to go to each door for get the roses and give a rose to every lady and the girls that are here today. Let's stand for prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for loving us. God, I just pray, touch everyone here with new love. Father, throughout Scripture, you filled them with the Holy Spirit, and they saw the glory of God. Father, touch every family here today and every family that's listening online. Touch them with the love of God through Jesus Christ. And we thank you for it in your holy name. Amen. I'm Pastor Mark Ammerman, and I want to thank you for being with us today, and I certainly hope you are blessed. I want to invite you to live stream to the pastor's study on Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, for a short message out of the Word of God, where God can lead you, guide you, comfort you, strengthen you in your life at this time. So again, thank you for being here, and I hope to see you Wednesday and Sundays.